What's up? All right, it's Friday, July 25th. It's been a crazy 2 or 3 weeks, but overall productive. So that's a good thing. Let's jump right in. I'm going to try to make this somewhat quick. Um, Stock market pretty much at all-time highs. S&P 500 is up 9% year to date. So that's really good if you've got all your money in the market, which I do, meaning I don't have anything sort of sitting on the sidelines waiting for a good time to get in. Oakstone, okay, our boutique luxury resort. So things are moving along, right? I'm actually about to put a post out on Facebook and LinkedIn um, where we are going to be increasing the round one capital raise by an additional $500,000. So we've had a lot of interest. Originally, we were just going to cap it at 1 million, and we thought that was going to be good to kind of just get us through some of these initial rehab projects. We have been rethinking this a little bit. I might have touched on this in my last episode as well, but we just want to get more and more work done as quickly as possible, and perhaps not piecemeal things together. And of course, if you go and get additional rounds later, technically, then you either the terms for those future investors might not be as good as they would be or should be for early round investors, right? So the earlier somebody invests, the better the terms should be. And so we figured we're going to increase the total capital that we're going to raise to 1.5 million, and that allows some additional people to get in with the same exact terms that we originally set out. So this it's still gonna be a first come first serve, but you're gonna get 8% preferred returns. Investors will get a 50-50 pro forma split after that, which is really good. And then of course, the managing partners, including myself, we're heavily invested in this as well, and so there's a lot of upside protection for all the investors. And as I mentioned before, me and my partners, we're investing with the exact same terms as anybody else coming in. So we're really hoping to make this super sweet, because the majority, if not most of or all of the people that are sort of investing, it's friends and family, and perhaps there's a few people that are getting referred in, which is great. But the IRR on this, we're targeting 34% IRR, and the total sort of return on equity, it's currently at 2.7 times in 5 years. So that's really strong, and we've got some really cool ideas that we're going to be implementing, or at least we're discussing it now. We'll see how that goes. So cool. Floor Coverings International. Okay, this is the big one, right? So let's see. I officially signed the lease to take over the lease from the person that I was picking up the territories from. I think I don't think, but I did officially become the owner of the business, I guess you can say, as of July 15th. So that's 10 days ago. That means I now feel a little bit more comfortable sharing some additional details, right? I've been working and I'm still partnering with the guy that I bought the territories and parts of the business from. Really good dude. Really good dude. He's helping me out right now. He's doing really good. And so, but yeah, so the warehouse I took over, it's in Pleasanton. And I think I mentioned the territories I'm taking over. I mean, it's 15 different zip codes, right? So it's Pleasanton, it's Livermore, it's Dublin, Castro Valley, San Ramon, Blackhawk, Danville, Alamo, and perhaps even some other areas, depending on how the zip codes sort of map out. So not only did I take over the lease for his existing warehouse and office, I have also kept on his office manager. Not sure if I mentioned this, but so far she's exceptional. Either she of course probably wants to be on my good side, since I'm the new boss coming in. But she asked me specifically. She's like, "Hey, when are you going to be taking over? Right? Do you have a bank account set up?" And I'm like, "July 15th." She goes, "Okay. Well, my husband's got a big job, and I already have the check, just waiting for you to become the owner so that I can technically deposit that into your bank account and give you the business. This is crazy good. Literally, that's me landing a major job in like day one of me being in business. Her husband, which I probably mentioned, is a general contractor. She had told me before her husband puts orders in through us, and here we go. One's already landed. That was 10 days ago. She's working on another one right now that her husband's gonna put an order in from. All of these are product only orders, right? So there's no need for me to go to an appointment, spend time measuring, putting together a proposal. The other time consuming parts are working with the installers and coordinating a date to get installed, right? And then, of course, once the product shows up, then you got to have your installers come pick it up, take it to the house. Depending on the product, it's got to acclimate in the house. They got to go through that. And then you still, of course, for us, because that's the way we operate, we got to get in there and work with the customer through the entire process to make sure that everything is just top notch, right? We got to give them the white glove service. So with this product only order, her husband basically just tells us what he wants. My office manager orders it, and we have it shipped directly to his warehouse. That's it. So it's a pretty sweet deal, and the margins on that I think are very healthy. It's a really good deal for the office manager and her husband, but it's also a really good deal for me. So love that. Let's see. Went to training for a week in Atlanta. Let's see. The good. Got to, of course, meet with a lot of the people in person in corporate. But I also got to meet with the other people that are kind of going through the same process as I am right now, which was pretty cool, right? You get to meet some of the people that I've been messaging, and seeing in some of the video meetings and whatnot. That was really cool. Got to hang out with them. On top of that, we got to learn a ton about product and installations, and then we got some practice time on using their proprietary software. They've got an app and they've got a big tablet, right? All of us have to use that, and then that's what we essentially use to put in all of the measurements, and product and cost is already, added on the back end. And so as we start to kind of play around with the various options, we get to see pricing right away, real time, and then it's pretty easy to put together a full proposal at a customer site, where if you've called and you've tried to get floors installed from somebody else, then you'll get somebody usually comes out, they take all the measurements, then they leave, right? Maybe they bring some samples, of course, and they try to sell you on those samples, and then they leave, and then they'll send you a bid later. So our process is pretty streamlined. We generally can get in and get out and create a proposal on the spot, as long as we have the right samples and if there's no sort of hiccups there. So we got some practice with that. So I think that's the good. The bad, nothing really bad, but if I'm being super nitpicky, I would say that it felt like there was a good amount of downtime, right? And I think you've got, different people that are part of, this process. So there's about 20 of us that are going to be graduating. We're part of the August graduating class. And that essentially means September 1st is most of everybody's go live date. That's what they're kind of saying. Although, me doing a bit of a resale, I guess my go live date was July 15th. There's a couple of other people that did a resale as well. They acquired an existing business. And so, of course, they're in the business working through things day one since they acquired that business. I think they probably had similar dates around July 15th. Which was the beginning of the week that we all spent in Atlanta last week. Now, the nitpicky part is, for me, I might have to go out to client, customer visits next week, the week after. I actually did go to one a couple of days ago, or on Wednesday. But the prior owner, he's staying on for a couple of weeks. I got him on commission while I'm going through some additional training. So I went out with him, did a little ride along, and I got to see him in action. So I'm already out there going to houses, visiting with customers. And so while I was in Atlanta, it would have been nice if there was a lot more practice of putting together full proposals with all of the measurements and all of the product. So they could then get nitpicky with me on, am I overestimating certain areas? Am I under calculating, certain measurements, right? Am I just not being competitive on the bid because I'm including something I shouldn't be? Or am I missing something and then I got to pay for it out of pocket, right? So the two big things for me are, of course, I got to get a ton of practice in. I got to get it dialed in. I think in the beginning, I'll lower my margins a little bit so that I can try to be competitive. But at the same time, I want to make sure I'm not overestimating anything. So really got to get that dialed in. It would have been nice if there was more practice and more feedback on how I was doing while I was in Atlanta. They were telling us that, oh, don't worry, there'll be plenty of time over the next few weeks to get more comfortable. Sure, that probably works fine for the 95% of the people there that aren't really live yet. But for myself, and I think there was 2 other resales in there, we're like, hey, we're already paying rent. I got payroll. I got bills to pay. So I need to start making money right away. A little bit nitpicky there. I've got homework, so I'm going through a lot of that right now. So I'm definitely feeling confident either way. And it's not super complex. I mean, it's kind of complex, but it's not super complex. The other thing, in the state of California, in order for you to be a business owner of a home improvement type of business, you need to have a licensed contractor that's a part of that business. So there's a couple of ways. One, you could have somebody else that's an employee of the business that works for you full time, and they could be the contractor, and then you use their license. Maybe a partner of the business, but they have to have 20% ownership. So they might not work in the business, but if they're an owner and they have 20% ownership, then you can use their license. In my case, I went straight for the contractor's license myself. Spent a good amount of time studying, and I went in for the C15, which is the flooring and flooring installation test yesterday. They gave me a little bit, I think about 3.5 hours to complete it. And then today I went in for the business and law test, which is for all contractors. And that was another 3.5 hours they gave us. I think I did a good enough job studying that I think yesterday I went in, I was out of there in about 60 minutes. Today I was out of there in about 50 minutes. Passed both of them, which means I am officially I'm waiting for my number, but I have passed, and I already have my insurance and my bonds and workers' comp and other things that I got to send in. But technically, I am now officially a licensed contractor in the state of California. So, cool. Okay, I think that is a good enough rundown for today. I just got to keep practicing and keep getting those proposals dialed in. Right, 2 big parts. Got to be accurate, and I got to be competitive. So with that, peace.